Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. Another paid request this time from Steven. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Bullethead from 2017. And I had seen this film once before, but I didn't remember much about it. So watch it again. I was surprised that I liked it. I did like the film. I think the cast worked well. It's a very, very simplistic story. But I thought the way it was directed, some of the way the director was utilizing the camera, certain camera movements, the way the actors do their jobs, and you get a bit of development on the characters. It's definitely, you tell the director definitely is a lover of dogs. And there's this sort of big old stank on dog fighting. Which I agree with. Fuck dog fighting. If you're part of a dog fighting circus, you go fuck yourself. Michael Vicks and all this other shit. You pieces of shits. So the cast, you got Adrien Brody, you have John Malkovich, you got Rory Culkin. Yes, related to Macaulay Culkin. And you have Antonio Banderas. And like I said, it's a very simplistic film. It's four people do a heist. The car's been crashed. The driver's dead. The three remaining, Adrien Brody, John Malkovich, and Rory Culkin, they hide in this abandoned factory to cool down so the cops try not to find them. While there, they see the mangled remains of a guy and a very pissed off dog. So at times they're running from the dog, and at times they're hiding out. And when they're hiding out, they tell we get a little bit more of their story. And it's been touted as like Reservoir Dogs meets Cujo. I did, yes, but at the same time, I think you could lead people down the wrong path if you tell them that way. Because number one, it's not constant dog chasing action. The dog really at the end kills probably two people, one off screen, one on screen, and they're people that deserve it. And it's much more where you feel sorry for the dog, because the director has these interesting scenes where the point of view of the dog and what it went through because of Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas is the main bad guy. He found this dog, got it through bad upbringing in order to get this dog fighting ring. So you really feel bad for the dog. And the director, I thought, did a nice job showcasing that. I think with this film, number one, the title doesn't work. Why the fuck is it called Bullethead? I have no fucking clue why it's called Bullethead. It's a stupid title. It's a shitty title. It has nothing to do with the fucking film. Was Bullethead the cousin of Bullet Bill from fucking Super Mario Bros? What the hell? There's no reason why it's called Bullethead. I don't... If that was referenced in the film, I completely forgot or I didn't notice. Also, the cover of the film. The cover is very lame, too. It's just parts of three faces, a body on the bottom. Nothing about it will tell you that a good part of the plot is a dog trying to attack and chase after these guys. So the poster sucks, the title sucks. Who the fuck marketed this and titled this? I don't know what the hell their deal was. Maybe they wanted the film to flatline. And the director, well, I don't know if you'd ever see this. Please tell me there's a different title. There had to be a different title than this. Like, why was it called Bullethead? Still don't understand. So, because it sounds like just a shitty action film. So instead, you have, like, Adrien Brody, I thought did a really good job. I thought it was actually one of his better performances. They really showcased a nice range of emotions. Didn't overdo the voice like in Predators, where he's trying to do, hey, come on, kill me now. He doesn't do that. Much more natural performance in this one. John Malkovich. I mean, the last time I saw him was a very depressing bit in that Thomas Jane film, One Ranger, where I'm still there going, did he have a stroke? So, I mean, this is from 2017, this film, and it's definitely much more capable. Banderas really doesn't have much dialogue till the very end of the film. But it's always nice to have Antonio Banderas in there. Hell, I like this better than Indiana Jones 5, which he was in. But yeah, we either get spots and spurts of information of the dog and what it went through and his point of view. And you get the idea that it lost a fight and they tried to kill it. So Antonio left and had one of his henchmen try to kill it and shot it, beat it. But then the dog got pissed and killed him, and that's the mangled remains that these three eventually find. And we get a little bit of the calm before the storm, where they're hiding out, and I think that's what made it work, is that these bits had a little bit of fun humor in it. So it's learning more about the characters, but a little bit of quirkiness. Like, for example, Malkovich tells a story about Christmas time. And he tried to steal something, but there was nothing there. He was pissed. So he turned, and the person had a fish. And he's leaving. He's like, wait a minute. Am I really going to walk out of a job with just one fish? So then he goes and he gets a bunch of more fish to put in. He surprises for his daughter for Christmas, but then she screams because all the other fish are dead except the one tropical fish. And it's like, oh yeah, well, freshwater, seawater. One of them didn't mix with the other fish. And the whole point is, like, I know what kind of fish I am. I know what kind of guy I am. And before I go further in spoilers, like I said, it's not wall-to-wall action. Far from it. But I thought the pace was pretty decent. I thought the actors did their jobs well. I thought I learned enough of the characters to give a bit of a fuck about it. The music at times was subtle enough with its emotions that, yeah, I felt sorry for the dog. I liked seeing some scenes between Adrien Brody and the dog. It was a good little suspenseful scene involving Adrien Brody hiding in a piano and the dog on the outside. I like the way the director utilized the camera work and certain bits in there. He has some decent chasing in the third act. At first with the dog, but then with Antonio Banderas. It's a small, quaint movie that I thought was pretty decently directed. I liked the film, but they did more into spoilers. Like I said, I like that story John Malkovich tells. Like I said, the three of them find the mangled remains of his corpse and a pissed off dog. I thought the scenes with the dog were handled well. They didn't use CGI or anything. They trained the dog fairly well. They put all this makeup on him to make it look much more fucked up. And then they hide out and they're trying to figure out what to do next. I like some of the banter between the characters. I thought you were a cat person. Fuck you. Right back at you. And so, since Malkovich told the story, now Adrien Brody's going to tell a little bit of a humor story about this one did he had about truffles. Truffles? Yeah, they're mushrooms. And I just thought it was like kind of a funny story. I liked how it was filmed, where sometimes the actors will be part of the flashback, or other times it was paced well. And that one, it's trying to figure out where these mushrooms are and how the fuck to get them and where to find them. And there's very few dogs in the country that could sniff these things out. So one of the dogs he had to get was a poodle, and he's searching it and finds it, and there's a guard there, and he thinks he's going to die, but then the guard runs away. And he's confused, and he turns, and he realizes the guard is deathly afraid of dogs. And that's part of the reason why he became a dog person. This dog helped him out. Helped him out finding this cash cow, and helped him out in that scene there. But that leads into later why he's, you know, okay, he's a dog person. That comes into effect later on. And even Rory Culkin, you see a little bit of his flashback. Was maybe didn't really like his character at first. He was a druggy guy. He was making stupid decisions. But I thought Rory Culkin sold this scene well, where he does a flashback of him as a kid with a very abusive dad, and he found this dog and he took care of the dog and would feed the dog, and the dad found it and killed it. And you see if that's one event that happened, imagine all the events that happened as to why this kid's so fucked up and such a drug abuser. I like the look on John Malkovich, Adrien Brody's face, like they're just horrified of what they heard. So where Culkin leaves, but he found something, he took a fix, and he OD'd. I like Adrien Brody's reaction to it. It's a lot of little nice things that add up to a pretty decent package. That's what I liked about the film. Yeah, I would like to see more action with the dog. If you're expecting Cujo with ton of like the intensity of the Cujo attack scenes and the frequency of them, you'd be very disappointed. In Reservoir Dogs, it doesn't have as much of the hard-hitting dialogue compared to Tarantino, but a little bit in that direction. I thought Adrien Brody and John Malkovich worked well together. John Malkovich pretty much saying, "Hey, even a degenerate gambler could tell someone when to cash out. And hey, this is a woman you love. Maybe you should leave." And Adrien Brody's like, "Oh, you know what? I mean, I'm stuck here. This is just who I am as a person." And John Malkovich pretty much calling him out on his bullshit. And you did some decent chases. But it's in the bit where Adrien Brody's the dogs chase him through the bus and the whole piano scene. I like the way that was shot. I like the way that was edited. I like the build up of that scene. And just little bits here and there, whether it be at one point he finds all these dead dog remains from the outskirts of the dog fighting. And it's just not a subject that's brought up a lot in movies. So it's nice to have it brought up at least in one movie like this. Again, it's not something you really hear about. I can't think of the last movie that really brought it up as prominently as this one. The horrors of dog fighting. So appreciate the movie bringing that subject to view. It's just it was so piss poorly marketed with a shitty title that no one saw the fucking film. I'd say it has a little bit nice emotion to it. Like during the piano attack scene, the dog attacks, but then it's trapped under. Adrien Brody's going to leave, but he hears his whining and feels bad, and he saves it, and the dog looks at him, and then goes away. Just, hey, this figure saved me. Some nice subtle music during the whole bit. And then later on, Antonio Banderas comes in, shoots John Malkovich, who saves Adrien Brody. Adrien Brody's chased by Antonio Banderas, gets wounded from here and there. There's one decent stunt where he jumps and is hanging from this thing from like very far up high. Another bit where he falls back and falls into this water down below. He gets wounded. Antonio Banderas is ready to, he's doing these villain speeches. Barry talks about this story about how he killed his neighbor and took his dog. But then the dog arrives and dog makes the choice. There's the guy who saved me, there's the guy who fucked with me, even though he raised me from long ago. Antonio Banderas gets his just desserts with the dog, but the dog gets shot. I do like Adrien Brody's performance. He's wounded, he touches the dog, pets him. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. I thought it was a very touching scene, which I didn't expect watching this. I'm like, that's very touching. The way it's shot, the way the camera angles are, the music being not too over the top or too over dramatic. The very last bit of the film is the that Adrien Brody loves turns and sees Adrien Brody walking with a puppy. Because he had said before that if we ever settled down, we agreed that we did a dog, and that even I could choose it. So seeing that showcases that he's done with the criminal life. He wants to settle down with her. This is a nice ending for a nice little film. I don't expect tons of action and chases and stuff, but it was efficient. I thought it was fairly well paced. Thought the acting was pretty solid. Some nice emotional beats in there. Some funny bits in there. A couple of decent dog chase sequences. Heartfelt. I was telling about the whole dog fighting circuit. Overall, despite the shitty title, I thought this was a pretty decent movie. I think it's worth a watch. And a bit underrated. Because you hear no one talk about this film, so... yeah. This was a nice surprise to watch this again. Again, like I say, if you're going in expecting Cujo, you're going to be disappointed. It's not that. So... but it's a pretty decent film. I liked it. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.